Let's go somewhere spooky.
Josh exclaimed, his eyes gleaming with mischief.
Yeah, like a haunted cabin in the woods.
Mia chimed in, her voice filled with excitement. The four friends, Josh, Mia, Ben and Emily, were planning their annual trip. This year, they craved adventure, something thrilling. A haunted cabin in the remote Blackwood Forest seemed like the perfect escape. They packed their bags, their anticipation growing with every passing mile. The forest welcomed them with open arms, or so it seemed. The sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy of leaves. The air grew heavy, filled with the scent of damp earth and pine. As they drove deeper into the woods, the silence became deafening. The excitement was palpable, mixed with a tinge of unease. The adventure had begun. The cabin stood at the end of a winding dirt road, shrouded in an eerie silence. Its wooden walls were weathered and worn, the windows boarded up like the eyes of a sleeping giant.
This is it.
Emily asked, her voice barely a whisper. The silence was broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant caw of a crow. The friends unloaded their bags, their breath forming white puffs in the chilly air. Inside, the cabin was dark and dusty, cobwebs clinging to every corner. A musty smell hung in the air, a mix of damp wood and something unidentifiable. The fireplace was cold and empty, its stone hearth covered in a thick layer of ash. Despite the creepiness, the friends set about making the cabin habitable. They lit candles, their flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls. They unpacked their bags and spread out their sleeping bags, trying to ignore the strange noises that seemed to emanate from the walls. As darkness fell, the strange occurrences began. A cold draught seemed to blow through the cabin, even though all the windows and doors were shut tight. The candles flickered and sputtered, casting eerie shadows that danced and writhed on the walls.
Did you hear that?
Ben whispered, his eyes wide with fear. A low growl seemed to come from the depths of the cabin, followed by the sound of heavy footsteps. The friends huddled closer together, their hearts pounding in their chests. Emily swore she saw a figure flit past the doorway, a fleeting shadow that vanished as quickly as it appeared. Josh dismissed it as her imagination, but even he couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside sent shivers down their spines. The following morning they awoke to a chilling discovery. Mia was gone. Her sleeping bag lay empty, her belongings untouched.
Mia! Mia, where are you? Josh yelled, his voice echoing through the silent cabin.
Panic surged through the friends. They searched the cabin from top to bottom, but Mia was nowhere to be found. Had she wandered off into the woods alone, or was something more sinister at play? Fear gnawed at the edges of their courage, threatening to consume them. They ventured outside, their calls for Mia swallowed by the dense woods. The forest seemed to press in on them, its silence more terrifying than any scream. As they searched, they stumbled upon an old, weathered signpost. The paint was faded, but they could just make out the words, Blackwood Forest. Beneath it, scrawled in what looked like blood, were the words, Beware the Nightwalker.
The legend of the Blackwood Forest came flooding back to Josh. It was said that a malevolent spirit, the Nightwalker, haunted these woods, preying on unsuspecting travelers. The legend claimed that the Nightwalker lured its victims into the forest, never to be seen again.
A cold dread settled in the pit of Josh's stomach. Had the Nightwalker taken Mia? They had to find her, and fast, but as they ventured deeper into the woods, the forest seemed to close in around them, the air thick with an unseen menace. The sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows through the trees. They were running out of time. The fate of their friend and their own hung precariously in the balance,